what would you like to work on today?
Let's see. I have a friend who we've been friends for a while now. We've known each other since we were freshmen in high school, so about a little over 10 years now. And it's one of those things. It's one of those friends. When somebody asks you, "Why are you friends with that guy?" you don't know how to answer the question. I mean, he's a good guy. He has a good heart, but sometimes it's just the things he says and he does is just so out there, and it annoys me to no end, really. But yet I want to be his friend. You know, he's my friend. We played football together. We grew up together. It's just, it's a nowadays though. I find myself when he calls or texts, I ignore it or I'll respond much later. It's because I don't want to deal with him. You know, it's constantly, you know, he has something dumb to say or he's in some kind of trouble that could have very easily been avoided. And you know, it's just, it's frustrating. It really is, because you know, the rest of our friends, we've grown up, and yet he still seems like he's stuck in his early teens, and so it's very frustrating.
Sounds like you're feeling confused about this long-term friendship and whether you see it progressing or not.
Yeah, confused would be a good word. You know, I asked him back when I got engaged if he would be one of my groomsmen. You know, we're friends, and he's a good friend. But it just seems lately, the more and more I talk to him, the more and more I get annoyed. You know, and it's not that I want to say I feel like I'm smarter than him or I'm better than him or anything like that, but you know, it's, without sounding rude, it's kind of like I am, you know, but I don't want to say that. I don't want to admit that. And it's just, it's very difficult because, you know, even our other friends that are friends with him don't know what to do either, you know, because they just, you know, oh, that's just, you know, that's just him, that's how he is. But it's like, you can only say that for so long before it's like, come on, man, you gotta grow up, you gotta take responsibility.
Yeah, so. I sense that you're flustered with them.
Yeah, that's probably a good word. I'm not, and it's not even I'm flustered with them. I'm flustered with myself and with him and just the whole situation, because you know I'm constantly, you know, having to bail him out of things. You know, thank God I haven't had to bail him out of jail yet, but it's been close. You know, he's always doing something dumb, and he's always calling me, asking me to do something that I don't think is right, but I do it for him because he's my friend.
Okay.
So.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
So, let's talk a little bit about, you say that he does dumb things, that he, you know, you're surprised he hasn't ended up in jail, you know, very vague. Can you give me some examples of what you mean by the behavior?
I mean, he's a player. You know, he thinks that every girl he ever dates he's in love with when he's not. And you know, he tries to play these girls, and he, you know, asks me to be able to, you know, go along with it. And it's like, you know, dude, we did our playing while we were, you know, in high school and early college. You know, I got a fiance now. You know, our other best friend is married and has kids. You know, we can't be doing this for you anymore. We're gonna get in trouble. You know, we grew up. You know, what's your issue? And what's just funny because he's actually older than us. You know, so it's like, you know, stuff like that. You know, I'll get phone calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's drunk and needs a ride, or you know, he's done something stupid and needs someone to talk to, and it's like, I mean, come on, man, I got work in the morning. You know, so it's just, it's little things that add up here and there, and sometimes, like I said, when he calls, I just don't answer. I just don't respond. So yet I'm still his friend, and I wouldn't see it any other way, and that's what's difficult.
Okay. So it seems like you guys have conflicting lifestyles, especially with you getting ready to be married, and you know, the boundaries just seem like they're not there, and obviously it bothers you. So can you tell me, is there a fear of that it's going to impact something in your relationship otherwise, you know, with the fiance, or like I sense there's something else there?
I mean, I don't know that it would necessarily affect my relationship with my fiance. You know, she knows him, she's met him, they've talked. She thinks he's dumber than dirt too, but she understands. You know, she had friends like that. Granted, she goes about it differently. She rid herself of those kinds of friends. You know, whereas me, I don't know. I don't know if it's I'm hanging on to an old lifestyle. You know, I don't know. You know, am I a good person for, you know, not giving up on this guy? Because I do try to help him, give him advice to better his life. But it's like, you know, but as far as the relationship goes, I don't see an issue with it. She understands. And even, you know, when I tell her, hey, I gotta go do this for him, she says, why do you do it? I was like, I don't know, I'm just right. But she understands, you know, she doesn't get mad at me for doing it. So.
I know that you feel you're doing your friendly duties and you said you wouldn't have it any other way,
Mm-hmm.
but what does it make you feel like, you know? You say you're doing your friendly obligations,
Mm-hmm.
and you wouldn't have it any other way,
Mm-hmm.
but where do you see this going?
You know, as of more recently, I find myself, like I said, I've distanced myself from him a little bit. You know, he'll call me, and sometimes I'll pick up, and sometimes I'll shoot him a message just to see how he's doing. You know, but we've distanced ourselves a little bit, just because, you know, really I'm just tired of the drama. You know, so I feel as though that I've made progress, you know, getting away from that lifestyle, but it's still annoying. You know, I'll still get that phone call and it'll just completely annoy me. But then again, I get that phone call and he'll tell me some good news, or, you know, or we'll go get a beer and we'll be happy together and we'll have a good time. But it's like, when does the good get outweighed by the bad? That's what I'm having an issue with.
So that's a good question to ask yourself.
Yeah.
And so, me asking you, when does it outweigh?
See, that's the thing is, I don't know. You know, we haven't gotten to a point where it's just going to completely affect my livelihood. You know, yeah, it bothers me, but it doesn't affect my day-to-day life. You know, like I said, I've distanced myself. We don't see each other every day like we used to. You know, this last football season, we coached together, so I had to see him every day. I had to deal with him every day. But since the season's been over, you know, if I see him once or twice a month, that's kind of how it is. But I still have to deal with him. You know, I still have to deal with those messages and those dumb actions. So it's like, you know, I don't know. I feel as though he is making progress himself, but then he'll turn around and do something that'll completely wipe away that belief. You know, so I don't know.
So let me ask you a question. Why do you feel like this bothers you so much? Because, you know, you say all your other friends have this issue with him, and I'm sure, you know, you have the occasional run-in with, you know, your buddies and whatnot, but what about this? What about this do you feel, why is it coming to the table?
You know, it's just, I never really talked about it. I mean, I talked about it with my fiance a little bit, and she understands, and, you know, but she's like me. She doesn't want to be mean and say, no, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. You know, it's just, it just bothers me, you know, just sometimes I'll hear about him, you know, going off and getting drunk and disappearing, and it's like, I worry about the guy. You know, as much as he's stupid, he's still my friend. You know, so it's just, I don't know. Just seeing and hearing the things he does, it's like, why am I friends with this guy? But at the same time, like I said, we ask that question all the time, and it's like, we don't know, we can't explain it, we just are. So.
Okay, makes sense. Have you approached him about how you feel about certain behaviors that happen?
Yeah, I have. You know, and he, same reaction every time. Oh, don't worry about me. I'm okay. You know, this is how I am. And it's like, no, like, you can't be like that. You know, that's why you aren't getting anywhere in life. Well, I know you're right. And then, you know, he'll get on this kick that he's going to find a job, or he's going to join the military, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And he'll go on that kick for about 3 months, and then he'll just revert. You know, so, you know, we all try, but like I said, he'll go, and then he'll crash.
Yeah.
So,
So it sounds like you're at a place in your life where you're really moving forward, and you know, you see that he's not. He's a little bit behind. He's a bit behind,
okay.
and it does sound like you being a good friend that you are, because it sounds like you're a good friend.
Mhm.
That you're just genuinely concerned for him.
Yeah.
So you kind of make it a point to focus on that.
Yeah, that would be a good way of putting it. You know, I am genuinely worried about him, and I tell him that, but you know, like the old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. He's gonna do what he does, and there's nothing we can really do about it. So.
Okay. Well, I feel like we've talked about a lot today, and I feel like there's more,
Mhm.
and we can continue this the next time we